Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 655. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Selner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Typically, Matt and I have a game that we've selected that we talk about each week, one game at a time, one episode at a time. And at the end of that episode, we rank that video game on a list that we call the list, which you can find over at thefreecheese.com/the list. However, this week we've reached the end of the quarter. And yeah, with 13 weeks behind us now for 2026, we're going to kind of do this old school instead of the new format. We're just gonna kind of hang out and talk about 2026 so far on the podcast, off the podcast, some of the news stories that have happened in this quarter.
And of
The
course, our
video
revenue
game
numbers.
news stories. Yes, of course. Yeah, we have to look back at our revenue numbers for the quarter. Is the line going higher? Before all that, Matt, how's 2026 going so far?
It's been going good.
Yeah.
It's been going good. Nothing, I would say nothing crazy has happened. Things
Yeah.
are good. The day to day is about the same, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah. It's a plus. I feel like it's generally smoother day to day this time this year than it was last year. Although I'm itching to get out, man. I've been trapped in this basement for too long. I think this time last year, just before, I know I'd been to at least Chicago. I can't remember if I did another trip last year or not, but no trips. So I got to get out. I got to do something soon ish. Um, the weather's finally breaking a bit, so that's changing. Yeah, I know.
Be
Give or
careful of
take.
false springs here in Maryland.
We had the one a couple weeks back, 80 degrees on one day, and then
A
the
tornado,
next
then
day,
snow.
literally snowing, and snowing to the point where it was like it won't do anything. It's fine, and then like nope, just give it a couple hours, and it's sticking to the ground and everything, and
Yep.
yeah, bizarre. But yeah, get outside, skateboard, go buy some frozen treats, do those fun things. Yeah, we used to have much wilder intros, but I got nothing. Life's pretty tame. I read now. No,
No, that hasn't
not
happened
there.
yet this year.
I've been trying to do a book a month. I've been a little slow lately, but I read a couple in January and February, so I'm ahead of the curve on that one. Yeah, otherwise just things are steady, things are normal. I We'll check in with some of our season 14 goals that are sort of transcendent to the podcast. But I've taken a bite out of your apple with the old year of reason and applied that to everything in my life to the point where, like, yesterday when I had some free time, it was like, should I go buy a huge external hard drive and get into a stupid project? And then I was like, I'm gonna not spend. I don't need it. I already got hard drives. I already got stuff. I'm good. I'm fine. Why spend when you could not spend? You know,
Hmm.
that's where we're at 2026, I suppose. The video games are things that you can play and things that we both have played. I'm gonna kick it to you. What's been on your radar? What have you been playing recently or this year that you want to talk about in this first quarter?
I don't know if this is cheating because I think I don't remember if I beat it after the new year officially or not, but I know there was a gap from when we recorded to until me finishing it. But I've completed Hideo Kojima's latest the old Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go much into it. I just kind of wanted to say more so I beat it. It is Death Stranding 1. So if you didn't like delivering packages, I don't think you're gonna like this game either. If you like delivering packages with some weirdness going on in the background, I think you're gonna like this game.
Is Conan in this one?
I did not find Conan, but I think there might be one porter I missed, one or two, somewhere in the mountains in Australia.
Did you have any? Were there any surprising cameos that you were like, oh, I didn't know? Because Kojima usually spoils the stuff on his social media where he's just posing with people and then they end up in Death Stranding and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm sure there's some other people that I just don't recognize, but I got a good laugh out of the VTuber porter.
Good.
And that was somewhere in there. And then the band Churches made an appearance. I don't remember them being in the first one, despite their titular song "Death Stranding" being like the main theme.
Yeah, you'd think they would have been in there, but
nope, they made an appearance this time. Same song, still the main theme of this game. Come credit time.
Now, not story wise, but do you think? Yeah, I guess like without spoiling, but like, do you feel like he'll make a third one of these, or is he moving on?
I don't know.
Did you think he was gonna make a second one?
I didn't think he was gonna make a second one. I'm not gonna say like the door is open, like wide open for a third one. I see a direction they could take though for a third one. He would have to change he's got to change the rhythm of this.
The loop.
Yeah, because it's samey to an extent. What's happening? They're gonna have to shake it up a little bit. I'm curious to see though if the movie is just a rehash of one, or if it's gonna be a different set of people, or if they're gonna combine the two games or whatever. Because that could be a scenario where, you know, the little crack in the door that's open, that could be flushed out in the movie potentially.
Are they the movie's separate from the anime, right?
I forgot they were doing an anime.
They're cramming it all in. I'm glad that one turned out well for you. So I guess we'll see more OD at some point this year, and
Pheasant's the other one, and
happening with Pheasant.
A movie. Well, the movie come out before the Metal Gear Solid movie that has casted Oscar Isaac.
I just thought, what was it? Oh, I watched Frankenstein not too long ago. Because one of the books I read this year was Frankenstein. I'd never read that, and I wanted to change that, so I read it, and then saw the movie was out there. I was like, oh, I should watch that thing. And I did that really annoying thing that everyone does, full dirtbag move, where I'm just like, in the book, because I'm an expert after reading it once, but I also have no clue because I read the 1818 text. And did you know that Mary Shelley remade her own novel in 1831?
I would not have known that, but
completely different versions of Frankenstein.
Interesting.
Because I'm like, they're supposed to be, and then I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. I'm like, oh, okay, no, she made that change. Okay, all right, never mind. Guess this is canonically correct, I suppose. But watching that, sorry, I'm looking at Oscar Isaac, and I'm like, he's supposed to be Solid Snake. What's happening? What are we doing?
But yeah, no,
yeah.
I would say if you like the first game, I think you're gonna like the second game. I think if you felt a little hamstrung by the beginning, but liked the end of Death Stranding 1, you don't have that like curve into the openness of the first game. You kind of start getting it right away, and even more so as soon as you hop into Australia, which is within the first few hours, depending on how quick you're moving through the main quest. But yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous set pieces, ridiculous scenes. Um, and I think the one thing I was talking about it early on, but it echoed throughout the entire game. The game's very pretty, and I'm playing on a base PS5. I think it might be the PlayStation's best looking game. Um,
Mm,
as me not playing Alan Wake 2 though, which I heard has fantastic visually as well.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very cinematic. Some of the places you end up going and some of the scenes and whatnot.
I can attest via the screenshots and screen recordings you'd send. Even through that, it looked good. So I can't imagine actually being in front of it on a TV doing that.
Yeah, but yeah,
Better
Death Stranding.
than Requiem visually?
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's just like seeing like just the landscape visually. Again, that first opening cutscene, there were times where I'm like, was this shot or is this an engine?
Yeah.
um, yeah, they're like I said, it all doesn't look all like that good to an extent, but combine that with the mocap, the voice acted. Norman Reedus delivers a Norman Reedus performance, but the rest of the cast is there.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's all good.
Well, you mentioned playing this during sort of the break in between seasons for us. Um, Usually you fill that space with Final Fantasy 14. Did you dip into that at all this time?
I didn't. I didn't. I'm not. It's not for lack of itch for playing it. I don't have a good window right now to squeeze even
I
a
know.
30-day subscription and feel like I got my $15 worth out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. I've thought about going back to it. I've filled the itch with some other MMO stuff, and then we've got something coming up here in the spring that should has kind of fulfilled the Final Fantasy bit for me. It is spring, right? Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
quarter. So we'll tease a little bit of what's coming up this quarter on the podcast in a little bit. Um,
I find myself going to Magic more here and there.
for the Final Fantasy itch.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I know
Have
it's
you
not.
played it all since the Ninja Turtle stuff got added to it?
No, I have not. Um, I gotta re-clear the podcast docket here a little bit before I can really dive head first.
Get lost.
But but yeah, no. I'll get back to that at some point over the summer,
Yeah.
spring summer.
I was intrigued about the Ninja Turtle stuff, and but I keep going back and forth on it where I'm like, is this cool or is this just Fortnite now? Where like the Marvel stuff never made it into Arena for us, but like we got Final Fantasy, we have Avatar, we have Ninja Turtles, we have more Marvel coming. I think when I was looking at the breakdown for this year, I think it was more licensed sets like by one than canonical Magic sets, which it's gonna sell. So of course, why wouldn't you do this? This makes total business sense. But it admittedly the last time I played it was like right around when the Avatar stuff launched, and it was like, oh yeah, okay. Everybody's playing Avatar decks, and I'm playing a Final
Yeah.
Fantasy deck, so it's not like I'm doing anything different. But um, yeah, yeah. Um, One I jumped into that I want to call out that I think people should check out. Romeo is a Dead Man from Grasshopper Manufacturer. I believe this is the first Grasshopper game under their NetEase ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Which the NetEase stuff seems to be getting weird. Um,
Everyone's getting weird now. It's not ever. No
yeah,
one's.
yeah,
No one is by themselves anymore.
yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, they went under there in 2021. which they'd put out No More Heroes 3 then, but yeah, I think Romeo is the first thing outside of any ports they may have done in the last few years. Um, so yeah, I was really excited about Romeo. I don't know how much of this was on your radar at all. Um, but it was announced in one of those PlayStation things last year with a quick turnaround. Like we knew it was coming out 2026 when it was announced. And it launched in February at $50, just like a super, I love nice, affordable price point. And it kind of set expectations for what you're getting too. I think it delivered, man. Like I definitely had there's some parts where it kind of gets a little bit long, where there's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of tedium and stuff like that, where you're kind of ready to move on. But overall, I had a really solid time with it. There's so many systems in the game. There's like all sorts of like the core gameplay is just hack and slash, third person, and there's some shooting options as well. Like you have a gun, you have sword, and then there's different weapon types you can get. Um, but there's like a farming element to it. Um, you you basically have I don't know I mean they're called bastards in the game, but they're like little temporary, they're on cooldowns, but like I don't know. I had one that was like a turret, one that shoots lightning. There's one that would like generate a healing field, and you basically like call upon them. But the way you raise bastards is by collecting bastard seeds, and then you plant
Switch.
them, and then you can fuse bastards together to create stronger bastards to then take out into the world. There's a ton of different styles and ones to collect. And they were just nice little like secondary backups for you as you're playing through. But generally, you're just slash 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 running around. Romeo gets killed, and he's brought in as like a time detective and kind of jumping through time and space, um, kind of building out the narrative. And you go through these different eras within his hometown. So there's like a spot that's in the 60s, the 90s, 70s, and all of the different kind of bosses you encounter are, I don't know, they're thematically involved in that era they were in some fashion or another. There's a cult leader in one. There's I don't remember the others, but yeah, I just really fun, solid action. And the thing for me that has me really excited for, I know it's not till summer, but we're playing a Suda game this summer, is Suda's just general style and approach to stuff. Have you played a Suda game before, or is the one this summer going to be your first?
I think that's gonna be my proper first one.
Because I think I don't remember which ones I've played now. I mean, obviously Let It Die, but I think Let It Die is a little different. Although he was like involved overall, but um, yeah, like I played Sin and Mora, but that doesn't necessarily have like a full style. There's Liberation Maiden on 3DS, which is odd. You play as the president of the United States, and she also has a mech that you fly around, and like it's just a bizarre, weird game. Um, but the first one I remember playing was the No More Heroes spin-off for Switch. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, and it was like you just sort of get injected with this. He's got all these little like quirks and sayings and things like that that kind of get thrown into the story or whatever, and it's almost just like I don't know, when you read a comic book and you can kind of just hear the author's like interest shining through. Some of it's like very on the nose, where you have like here's London Calling album cover, but
Mm-hmm.
parodied with Romeo or something. Others are a little less subtle, or it's just sort of like these are just things that Suda believes in, or his opinions about things that he's speaking through Romeo or another random character. But all that stuff, I don't know. There's like a gravity to it that I appreciate. or magnetism, I should say. I'm drawn to it very much so, style wise. Yeah, some of it doesn't hit, but overall, I thought it was a good time. I just wrapped that one up. I tried to wrap it up before Requiem, but it bled into March a little bit. And yeah, it's got me really intrigued for this summer. So I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
Any character action video games for you this opening to 26 or anything else?
Character action? No. I would say in the lead up to Requiem, I hit quite a few Resident Evil games.
You sure did.
Yeah, one of them is that terrible mobile game, Survival Unit.
You can't say terrible when you're playing it daily.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, it's not great, but I find myself logging into it every day, and since I started playing, I can probably tell you my login streak. I've logged in 88 consecutive days, and at least checked in once, if not a few times a day, and building my base. It's one of those gacha built base building games. There's some PvP to it. Story is non-existent. It's fine. It keeps me off of TikTok, I guess. I don't know if that's better or worse or whatever or the same, but I haven't spent a dime on it, so
that's a plus.
Could be farming my data and selling it, very possible, but I haven't spent money on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that since like December.
But you also rolled through Revelations 1 and 2.
Yes, where I was going to get to. Yeah, I played Revelations 1 for the first time, and I guess Revelations 2 right after that. They're like I don't know. Revelations 1 it feels like just like Resident Evil 4, but like on a smaller scale and a little bit more action packed. But like it switches between characters a few times between all the different chapters. It primarily takes place on a boat. So not that it's following the story of Gaiden, but we're back on a boat for the most part. There's some weird story stuff. It fills in some holes of the BSAA. Where like I think this takes place between 4 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. It does, because at the very end, it very much alludes to 5, some of the events of 5 happening. So yeah, it kind of goes through the story there. You got some new characters. The returning characters are Jill and Chris for the most part. But yeah, it jumps around story-wise just because of the events of what's going on in the BSAA and the government organization and all this stuff. But yeah, it's very action heavy. Like there is multiple parts towards the end game where you'll be in a showdown with hunters in rooms, and the hunters are just like, there is like fodder because there's so many of them. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple like kind of creepy parts, but nothing crazy.
Does it feel more like 4, or like if they tried to make 4 on a 3DS and then ported it to console, or?
Yeah, maybe it's more so 5 to an extent as well, just because I say it's more action heavy than anything else. So yeah, like I said, I think it's a interesting game to play through if you like the franchise. I'm not gonna probably. Those that are trying to build up to Requiem, I will probably like come back to this if you're still a fan of the series after you've played a few more.
Sure.
And then yeah, that led me to play Revelations 2, which that game is just inherently unique. They still have the partner thing, but it was built with co-op in mind. But the co-op is not your traditional, like, you both wield guns. Both of the side characters have varying abilities that kind of make it like an asymmetric thing. For one, like, Claire and Barry are probably the two Um, returning characters you're gonna know. And then there's two brand new characters. One is Barry's daughter, Moira, I believe was her name, and then the other one is like girl that was on island already. I forget her name, but like
Hmm.
Moira has a fear of guns, so doesn't shoot guns. So she is like your flashlight character, but as you control her, so when you play the single player, you can switch between the two characters like on the fly. Um, with Moira, like you're kind of like you use her to find secrets and gems on the ground. Like her flashlight will like shine off like some treasure items, so you can use her for that. She has like a crowbar with her, so she's good for some melee, but like there's going to be various doors where you need a crowbar to get it open. So you kind of put her with task her with opening, while Claire will probably end up fighting off anything that's coming their way. And then with Barry, and with the little girl, she has like some kind of like sense of vision, almost like a listen mode, to an extent. And as you play as her, you can kind of get a sense of where enemies are. And there's like one particular enemy that you start to see, probably about third or halfway through the game. It's totally invisible except to her for her vision. She can sense it. So there's a lot of like you use her to see where the enemy is coming, and you switch back to Barry to unload into the air where you maybe can't see it. And then again, single player is a little weird because having to use both characters. I think a co-op playthrough would be a little weird still because again, you're not both like mowing down characters. You're gonna have to kind of work together in a more unique way than you would in like a Resident Evil 5 or 6. But yeah, again, that one I think takes place between 5 and 6. I don't think it pushes the story too far. There's a Wesker clone in there. He has a sister, so
What's the guy? Zane? What was the
um Zeno.
Zeno? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that. I think it was just it's almost like
Is it literally a clone or is it?
I think it's a like it's one of those like they birthed her using DNA from Wesker.
Got it.
Kind of
Okay.
like a very Metal Gear type situation. I think you're getting yourself into.
I see.
With Big Boss's DNA.
I see.
So yeah, I there are interesting segments to that. I like playing through Revelations 2. I think that one's the more unique game of the two. I think both have their ups and downs. And again, I'm not probably recommending this to like newcomers to the series, but like if you have played through some of the other games and you're still looking for new stuff, I would encourage you to kind of take a look at this. I played Revelations 1 on PC, and I played Revelations 2 on Switch. Switch 2.
I feel like you didn't have a great time with 2 in the end. Like you were ready for that one to be done, right?
Kinda, sorta. Again, there's unique games, and I think playing these two back to back as opposed to like spacing them out didn't help things.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some frustrating times where like you have to use the one character and you have to be in particular with how they're doing because like as you're shooting this invisible enemy, like as you're Barry, you do get some call outs from the secondary character. She'll be like, "It to the left, to the right," and you're just firing around and missing. It's like, okay, where is this fucking thing at?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, I think they're both fine games. I not my first recommendation, but if you're a fan of the series, I think you'll find some enjoyment out of it.
What's next on Resident Evil for you? You're through the core numbered series, right?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Um,
Do you have any gaps there?
I don't think I ever finished a scenario or two in remake 2.
Hmm.
I guess I've never beaten remake 1. Uh,
Yeah, me
and
neither.
then I never played remake 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never gotten around to it. And then that's like the I don't know, that gets some hate now in the community because it's very short and cuts a lot of the OG3.
Yeah. Yeah, like I got what I needed out of it, but mm. um
But yeah, no, I
yeah, are you gonna chase some of the weird ones now, or
no, I think I'm gonna take a break from the series because again, I don't think there's much I can chase.
yeah?
I don't
I
need to
mean, you've
play
just
like Gun
platinumed Requiem.
Survivor. Yeah, I was gonna get to that. I figured we'll at least touch on it, if not go into it extensively. But yeah, like I don't need to go chase down like the first person shooter from PlayStation One. I don't need to
Probably
play
not.
Gun Survivor, Code Veronica. That seems like a mess. I'll get to the other ones when I get there.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, yeah, I mean, I was in full Resident Evil mode. Like I watched all the CGI movies.
Oh, that's right.
They were fine. They get
Yeah.
better. I would say Death Island was at least entertaining. I was not happy. I was not mad I watched that one. The other ones, I don't know if
Fair.
I feel the same. But at least those movies, they bring in characters that you don't see a lot in the games anymore. Like there's a lot of Rebecca Chambers going on in some of those movies that I don't think Rebecca's been in any game since Zero.
Yeah, Zero is the last one I remember. Hmm. Where you at on the movie for September?
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The franchise seems like it's headed in a good direction after its 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Um, I'll talk about another game's 30th anniversary to close out this segment, but before that, I'll talk about a franchise what's having its 35th anniversary, one that you and I hold very near and dear to our hearts. Of course, I'm talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Um, I've played a lot of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds this year, and I recommend it. I recommend it more than Mario Kart World. It's still not perfect. It still feels a little um it feels worse than nothing feels as good as Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform. That is the pinnacle for me. Always will be, I think. But this is really good. And I think the thing that shifted my approach to this is similar to where when we played F1 Race Stars a couple weeks back, and you kind of think of it where like, oh, this is the game that the team who makes the core F1 games decided to make a kart racer. This version of Sonic Racing was made by the team that made the arcade Initial D games for Sega. So when you think about that and then that translating, I'm like, okay, I don't know why that like changed it mentally for me, and I appreciate it more. But alas, here we are. You got Knights in there now. You got they just added I from Super Monkey Balls in there now. We're fleshing
Okay.
out the Sega roster. They're kind of doing the aforementioned Fortniteification with the rest of the paid DLC. Thankfully, all the Sega characters are free, but you've got whatever, man. If you want to play SpongeBob and I guess the Ninja Turtles are coming to that too. Avatar's coming to that as well. Pac-Man, Mega Man. I don't know any other mans, but
Avatar, like Last Airbender, right? Not the Pandora people.
yeah, not the blue people. No, no,
Okay.
no. Yeah, yeah, that. It's solid. I would say, grab it when it's on sale. Like I would recommend probably like I grabbed the deluxe version on sale, and I'm not mad that I did that. I don't play as any of the paid DLC characters, but I might down the line, like a Mega Man or something. Um, I don't think you're barred from like, any of the if you get thrown into a random track selection, because that exists in this video game when playing online. And I think if you don't own the deluxe stuff, you'd still play the map, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever pack world or whatever thing you
Bikini
get thrown
Bottom
into.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all yeah. Um, but I'd recommend that one. Just the same with another racing game, long-awaited return of Tokyo Extreme Racer, which played a bit last year when it was in its early access stage. Now it's 1.0 as of last September, and it's on PS5 as of February. I think it came out 2 days before
Sure did.
Requiem.
A lot of
Yeah,
things decided to come out that three
yeah.
day period for some odd reason.
No. We played Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 last year, and I think we both had similar like final thoughts on it, just where it kind of hit a wall, and a wall that I don't think this one falls victim to. The game is still get a car, drive around the Tokyo highway, slowly open up other parts of the highway to race other factions. But this one has a skill tree, skill points you unlock, stuff like that. Like there's a general sense of progression. Also, like it's easier to, I think, like you can just drive for a while and like end up taking an exit, and then you'll see things where it's like, hey, new freeway unlocked. And the next time you kind of return to your garage and you're about to go back out, you have new or entry points to where you can kind of start your night. Um, Control, I think, feels it's very much the same, but also there's a little bit, it's a little bit better. Um, I I love it. I think if you like the old Tokyo Extreme Racer games, you will like it. Um, I think you, Matt, in particular, if you felt like a game like this, if you had the itch, I think you would like this one more than you liked three. But I also know that this isn't necessarily your bag. But I think this one does some stuff that's intriguing.
Is
There's still only
this?
3 songs, but yeah,
Well, I can fix that myself. It's fine. Um,
yeah.
but that's just still like for it being probably more on the arcade side of things. Does this still let you customize to like the gear ratios and
Oh yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff? Like, did have it shied away from that at all? That, yeah,
No, not at all.
like that stuff's
And
interesting.
you now that there's a skill tree involved, you get more granularity the more you
That
unlock
makes
like
sense.
level 2, level 3, level, all that stuff in terms of customization. Yeah, but you've got that. You've got full like visual customization too if you want. If you want to load it up and make it look like a Need for Speed Underground car, you can do that. Um, yeah, change paint, put decals, all that stuff. It's super fun. Um, really, really like that one. Um, I got a couple more I still want to hit, but one I'll throw out just before I volley back to you is called the Exit 8, which I picked up. Got added to PlayStation Plus. Have you seen this one?
I feel like I've heard of it, and I can't remember. It's because you talking. I think you talked about it.
I did drop it in group chat a while back. Um,
Yeah, no, I. This is definitely me treading ground after you dropped in a chat somewhere.
I like don't look anything up about it. Just if you have the tier of PlayStation Plus that it's on, download it and play it. If you don't, buy it because it's like $4 or something like that. Like it's not a cheap game. Um,
It
I
is a cheap game, you
got
mean?
what did I say?
You said it is not a cheap game.
Oh yeah, I meant it is. Yeah, sorry. 100%. It is a cheap game. Um, I played through it in an hour the first time. And then I got the platinum in it like in another 11 minutes after beating it. So it's very, very doable. Um, and I like it a lot. There's a sequel to it too that I want to check out. And there's also like
Is that platform 8?
um yes,
Okay,
that sounds right.
because I
But
was
I
look.
also double check because it might be there's a ton of clones now.
Well, I think it's platform 8 because you can get the bundle for the Exit 8 and platform 8 for
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
$7 and change on Steam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do that. 100% do that. Um, and yeah, just like honestly, look nothing up, just play it uh and see what you think. I think anybody will like this game. It's a solid like sit down, solve some puzzles in an hour or two. I had a really fun time with that one. Have you had any like weird surprise like just kind of fell into something for a little bit and oh wow, that was a good time?
No, I really haven't had anything like that. I've really been sticking to like some major releases, and then the podcast stuff kind of ramping my way up there. I mean, I know we touched on Monster Hunter again in January. Again, real quick, but like it runs great on the PC now. So,
I can't believe yeah, they got it there. Great job.
it took forever, but here we are.
Yeah.
No, but I really I got I mean minus RE9, which I think was obvious. And then another one which is obvious because we talked about the game a few weeks ago. I think I got one more. So if you got a few more, go for it. Go through them.
Well, keeping in the puzzle theme, one that I've been having a really good time with is Ooh, which is O. Um, the first O has a little the umlaut above it. This is the next game by I gotta look up the developer's name, but he made Elekhead,
Nama Takahashi.
Nama Takahashi. There you go. Thank you. Um, this is so cool. So this came out on Steam last year, and then I've just been waiting on it to drop on Switch. And when Nintendo did the Indie World back at the beginning of March, this was in the Japanese version of the Indie World, and Shadow dropped for us same day. It wasn't in our broadcast, but it still released that day. I forget how much. It's a couple bucks, or it can't be more than 15. Um, but it's you play as a little ball with two ears, and he has a you find a tail, and basically like think Snake, like cell phone Snake, just in terms of like the more of these things you find, the longer your tail gets. But it's like a Metroidvania style thing. You're moving through a map. Your next segment of your tail can be placed as a bomb, and then when you blow it up, it's either blowing up a space or it's launching you in a direction depending on where you are positioned to it. And as you kind of go through, you'll find extra. Like I just found my second tail piece, so now I've got two bombs I can place, and that changes the gameplay entirely. But Elekhead and this both just kind of take these very simple ideas and they really craft it into a really clever, tightly designed video game. But I think this one's super solid, super worth your time. Um, I think like of anything I talked about today, Ooh is the one I would recommend the most. Just because it's cheap and it's engaging. Um, and a lot of moments where you're just sort of like you'll get to a section, you're like, okay, hold on. Do I try this? And oh, sick. It's like a lot of those moments of just like you feel like really rewarded for thinking through a puzzle solution. And none of them are ever too challenging. Um, and I'd say my only problem with it is when I took a few days off from playing it, I'd
Ah,
forgotten some of the pieces, and like one puzzle I got stuck on for a bit where had I just kind of gotten to that puzzle pretty quickly after another section, it would have been fresh in my head, but kind of spacing it out a bit made it difficult to remember. But that one's cool.
to echo your, it's not expensive. It is a $10 game on Steam.
Yeah, do it. It's on Steam, it's on Switch. He probably has a bundle on Steam to buy Elekhead and Ooh. I would do that too.
There is one at 20% off for the two at 15.98.
Yeah, they're both really well done. He's really talented game designer. Check them out. Um, yeah, I'm saving my biggest one for last. What's
Is this
your?
something I played or?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll chime in with the continue my horror theme here. So Yeah, I found myself with like a month to kill, besides some podcast stuff, right before Requiem. And a game, it went pseudo on sale. It's still dodgy when the base game goes on sale with them doing the bundle bullshit. But
Yeah.
I finally picked up Silent Hill 2, the remake. I picked it up alongside Silent Hill F, the dual bundle. That if you're looking for the listing for it, you have to go to Silent Hill F, and then they have the
Oh,
dual pack. If you're looking for it, that one on sale, I think it was
sure.
$60 for the two of them, and I knew I wanted to play both of them, so I didn't think I would get to F in time, but I know come October, come spooky season, well, I'll have something to play. Um, so yeah, I picked up Silent Hill 2 remake, and I played through it. And I finished it days before Requiem, and I it is probably one of the scariest games I myself have played and gotten through successfully. I know I've obviously never played a Silent Hill game. I know of them. I know I've seen playthroughs of 1, 2, 3, and 4 to various degrees. I know the stories of most of them. I know all the different fan theories on 2. And so, like, I knew going into this game what it was and what symbolism different things have. So I wasn't, like,
Mm.
really uncovering that per se for the first time. But still, playing through this, I think it's really good. Like I said, I've never had a game where I'm equally scared when the music is off or on. Um,
Mm.
the soundtrack for it is very good. It's just a lot of ominous noises and like just more so soundscapes. And it's just some of them ramp up in weird ways where it feels like you're in combat, but you're not. Um, the the leg creatures with them just kind of being just still and you're never seeing them and even your radio doesn't go off until there's movement. You know, there's not one corner that feels safe. There's not one environment that feels safe. Even like in the main lobby and like in a save area, like nothing ever feels safe. Besides when you're in the save menu, like that's about it. Um, and then the other thing, I don't think they ever, I guess small spoilers, I don't think they ever fuck around with you unless you're in active battle. But you know, Resident Evil, when you are in the cinematic of like using your bolt cutters, nothing's going on behind you. This game is the
Yeah.
opposite. You are fair play when you're in a puzzle.
Always constant threat. Yeah.
So, like, the frustrating thing to a little degree is when you pick up a note in Resident Evil, very, very, very much, you can read the note. If a zombie is like mid attack, you have all the time in the world to read that note until you put it down and you kind of resume your gameplay. This, if you find a note and you're being attacked, you're going to get attacked. Same thing with pulling up the
That.
map. Um, so, like, again, this game very much, you're in like multiple apartments or hotel areas. A lot of the areas are like you are going door to door and seeing if the door is locked, unlocked. So like you're constantly kind of pulling up the map to see like, oh, what room number am I at? Again, if you're in a hallway and you haven't really cleared out that hallway, nothing's safe. So that kind of keeps you on edge throughout the entire experience. But no, like I said, I kind of knew the story. I'm not kind of. I knew the story going into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But even seeing it played out with the new cinematics, because I really did not see a lot of this entry. But yeah, I mean, I knew to stay faithful for the most part. But no, seeing everything through, it is a very very good video game and a good horror one at that.
So what changed for you? Because I feel
I
like,
don't know. I don't know.
speaking of anniversaries, like we're coming up on 10 years of you on the podcast. And 10 years ago, this would never have been on your radar. Like, I don't even remember you fully. You did finish RE2 because we did it for Game of the Year. But I, like, that was a struggle, if I recall correctly.
I don't think I
Like,
beat it that
significant.
year. I played through most of the campaign. I've since have remedied that.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Is it just more exposure to it, more
Maybe.
self-confidence, or
I don't know. Like, I think 8 and Benevietto, like,
yeah,
that was like the a thing and persevered. But then
yeah,
no, like just playing through 7. And I don't know. When it comes to Resident Evil, everyone's like 7 is like top tier on the scare list, and I would agree with that to an extent.
yeah.
Just knowing like it can't get like I don't know. PT is probably the pinnacle of all that shit, and I still don't play that. Like I don't intend on playing Visage or Visage. I don't know how it's pronounced. Like I don't plan on playing
Yeah.
that. I do have a valuable PS4 that owns PT still. Um, I don't plan on going back to that anytime soon. We'll see what the hell Fizzin or OD, whatever one the horror one is, if that's even a game, because Hideo Kojima has come out and said he doesn't even know if it's possible, which is he's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what changed, but I can kind of get through some of these. I'm
That's good though.
scared
Yeah.
shitless. Like it's not for lack of oh, I'm just waltzing into rooms. I'm like taking a deep
Yeah.
breath every time a door opens.
Well,
It's not
you
good.
also did a fun thing for sharing, and for those who don't know, on your PlayStation 5, of course you can capture screen recordings, but you can also enable your microphone to be captured in the settings. So Matt turned that on for Silent Hill, and it was fun getting random video recordings of seeing James kind of, is it James in that one,
It's
or
James, yeah.
yeah, crouching through a space, and then just hearing you like, no, 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 where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
Good time.
No, it's really good. I would say if you're a fan of Silent Hill, obviously you go play it. I think everyone in that community has high regard for that game. There's some weird visual stuff, but when you're in the fog of Silent Hill, like in the town, that stuff kind of goes away, and then there's about 2/3 of that game you're playing in darkness and at night. So like I don't know, there's just weird light reflections off puddles and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
mostly goes away in the second third of, or the last 2/3 of the game. But Bloober did
Yeah.
it. Bloober kind of made
I know it's
a good
impressive.
game. A
I,
good game. I mean, I know it's not like an original IP or original
no,
entry
but
in that
still.
IP, but no, they did it. They did it.
Yeah, I want to go back to two. I did F at the end of the year last year, so I want to go back, hit two up. I also want to finish one. I've got a save in one that I never wrapped up, but there's time. And they got another one. They've got I don't remember the name of it.
Townfall.
Townfall. Thank you. It's gonna say transmission, but that's the
Yeah, that's
something. Yeah.
that's what they call their Silent Hill transmissions. That's what they've been calling them.
That's yeah. Oh right. I'm thinking it was the never mind. I gave it a thumbs down thinking it was another thing. You're right. Yes. Um
Townfall. If you don't know, I just want to throw this out there because I didn't know until like right before that game was announced. That is the oh, what's the name of that fucking game? They did
Stories Untold
Stories
and
Untold
Observer.
and Observe. No, I thought it was Observation. Observer is something
Observation.
else.
Yeah, not Observer. You're right. Yep.
Um,
Observation.
Observer is the amnesia people, right?
Maybe. Or that might even be Bloober.
Oh, funny enough. Anyway, but yeah, it's Stories Untold Observation Team. It is not that developer, but now I forget. They either a lot of them left and formed a new company, or they rebranded themselves after an acquisition or something. But it's that team making Townfall, which piqued my interest a little bit more, and I think would have happened had I not known that for that game. So I don't think that's a day one buy for me because I'm gonna play through F first before playing something else since I own it. But yeah, I put that game on my radar knowing the developer.
Yeah, just closing the loop there. Uh Observer is Bloober. that had Rutger Hauer in it. And then No Code was the name of the studio that made Stories Untold and Observation. They were announced to be working on a Silent Hill game back in 2022 after they hadn't had any sort of update following uh, Observation. And then in July of last year, they rebranded from No Code to Screenburn Interactive and confirmed that they're still working on Silent Hill Townfall.
And then we got that confirmation, what, January?
January, February, something like that. Whatever that PlayStation thing was. Um,
Oh, right.
but yeah, I agree. Like
They were at the PlayStation thing, and then the transmission was right afterwards. Right, I forgot about that.
yeah. I did like not that I'm like off the Silent Hill train because after playing F, I'm like I want more. But some of the other Silent Hill stuff that's come out has been a little like eh. But
Yeah.
to your point, like knowing that this is that team, I'm very intrigued. So, um, my next or final one I'll talk here about is celebrating its 30th anniversary, and I'll talk less about the game and more about the experience of playing the game. But it is, well, I guess depending on who you ask, it is Revelations Persona or Shin Megami Tensei Persona. That's the version I'm playing, which is the PSP remake of Persona 1. It's Persona 1, that's what I'm playing, which turns 30 this year. I've never finished Persona 1. In fact, I've not finished a Persona game except for 5 Royal. I think I've started all of them, but I've never played anything in 2, but I've started 3 Portable, I've started 4 Golden, I've started 5, I've finished 5 Royal. I started 1 a long time ago and never finished it. So I decided this year I want to finish it. How can I finish it? So I basically just leave my PSP on my nightstand. And every night before bed, I pick it up and I play for about 30 minutes, if not longer, depending on when I go to bed. I might end up sitting there for a while grinding and just wandering around watching TV. Um, but that approach has gotten me way further in the game, and I highly recommend anybody who's got a long RPG like that you're struggling to get through, just do it in little chunks, and especially a game like Persona or any of these SMT games where death and failure and clock resets are inevitable, where you just feel like, ugh. Like there's been nights where I've gone to bed having made zero progress technically. But remember, it's all in your head, man. If you make enough progress in a spot, even if you have to die and reset and you lose all the leveling you did, you know the path you got through. Like I just had a section the other night where before bed, I had made it all the way through this area, cleared a bunch of stuff out, leveled up a bunch of my characters to a good point, and then got wiped before I could find another save point. It sucked. I just turned it off, went to bed, and then in the morning, I got up, jumped right back in, and kind of like was able to skip some spots that I didn't need to go back through again, um, and make my way there. But playing like that, like I'm playing without a guide, just sort of like letting myself wander through these spaces, and I'm appreciating combat as it happens because I know that it's all leveling me up and all that. Um, it does not have the press turn stuff that I know you appreciate a bunch in
Mm.
these games. You do have weaknesses, obviously, that you can exploit, but it doesn't give you like a bonus turn or anything like that, which is a little bit different. Also, persona fusing is different than you have in other games. You can't fuse the personas you have. You can only fuse personas that you have spell cards for. You get the spell cards by talking to demons, but once you fuse, that's it. There's not like a continual fusing that's
Mm.
happening, um, where you're kind of building on past ones. But I really like it, and I think that approach has been neat for me. I've been doing that since February 12th, apparently. And every night, basically, like when I play it, and I don't play it every single night, but most times when I play it, or I'm sorry, every time I do play it, as soon as I hit save and close the PSP, I just take a little note like wandered the floors in the black market for a bit to look for unexplored paths and grind. That's it. And I like kept
Perfect.
track of like my character levels, things like that. Everyone is underpowered, need money. Grinded to get $100,000. Now everybody has better armor. Like just little bits like that to be a little reminder. And yeah, it's just a solid experience. So my goal is I wanted to see through that and get through 1 for the anniversary. I think I might, when I finish this, play through the secondary route. There's 2 different routes you can go through. So I might do that. And then I might keep rolling and just go right into Persona 2. Otherwise, I might go back to SMT4 because I have that on 3DS and haven't finished it. Either way, I recommend this approach a lot. And that's that on video games this year. At least stuff worth mentioning so far. There's some other stuff, but I think that covers it. Why don't we transition into
I
some light
guess
podcast?
I guess we should say we have plans on actually adding Resident Evil 9 to the list. Hence why we did not
that's
bring
why.
that up.
Yeah, that's why we haven't talked about that one. We both played that one, but we have a whole episode coming up for that one this year. And it'll probably be the last Resident Evil game we add to the list for a while. But
I mean, there's opportunity. There's always opportunity, but yeah, probably. And we are active play a marathon. We have hours.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We have hours.
Call out marathon. Yes.
Do you want to talk about that one just a touch more?
Yeah. We haven't talked about marathon at all.
This is my first attraction shooter, much like it is, I'm assuming, for you, right? You haven't played any.
I played some. I mean, I played the beta for. God, what was it called? Synduality? Is that what it's called?
No. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I
Synduality Echo of Ada?
sounds familiar. I don't recall you playing that though.
I just did the beta. The full game is out now, and it is also available on PlayStation Plus. The beta was cool. I think it's neat. The thing I like about the game or that idea is that they really approached it from a whole, like, we're making a whole thing. Like, they launched the game and anime. They've got manga. It's like a whole franchise they kind of did all at once. I think that's neat. And that was the first thing where I remember like playing a thing where the idea was like, get the thing and get back to this spot and get out of there. But also you have a cooldown, or there's a timer you have to wait for before you can get out, and you might get killed. Now I know that all too well, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have some experience. Hunt Showdown, I guess, is one technically. Although that one's more like kill the boss and get out with the bounty, more so than it is like a looting run. It plays differently. I touched a little bit of DMZ on one of the Call of Duties when that was a thing.
Yeah.
And then way back when, what's that Tom Clancy game? The one that takes place in New York with the virus, the Destiny.
The Division.
The Division. The Division had a multiplayer area in the middle of the map that was like that, where it was go and get shit and try to exfil. I touched on that some as well, but this is by far, I think, the most amount of hours I've put into any of these combined, probably too.
Yeah.
So I would say first thing, Bungie can still make a shooter that feels good to shoot things.
Yeah, they do.
That they know that they got it. They whatever that fucking formula is that they have in the safe somewhere in that studio, they can go back to that time and time again, and it works. The art style, as controversial as it could be, it's good. There's a reason why they kind of stole it.
Yeah, there it is. And I'll say, like, not that I'm defending that, but it's not like the artist that they stole from invented the style holistically. Like, they're
No.
obviously inspired by things. So I can see where there's a lot of influence and like, because I would also hate like if I'm an artist on this game that did actually that didn't steal, that had no involvement with that and whatever, that put a lot of my own taste and interest into creating a design for that. That would suck to have this like always be associated with that. Unfortunately, someone on this project did steal a bunch of art from somebody, and I know that they resolved it to the artist's satisfaction. And there's a credit for the artist in the credits of the game. Like I think is crediting as a consultant or something.
Yeah.
There's a call out in there. But yeah, I mean, despite that, it is very much like I still think of it. Like I look at the art and I'm like, this is so sad. Yeah, they stole a bunch of that. Like even though it's we're past it's still a thing. And yeah. But God, does it look cool? It looked cool from the first time we saw it. I, you and I both, while things have been loading and we're just looking at menus and text and stuff as it's like flickering across the screen, we've both just kind of, uh, I don't know, unwillingly blurted out like, "Man, this game's cool." You know, like we just it happens. Like it's really cool looking. So
Um,
yeah, I think that stands out.
I
But
would also say if once like I've even caught myself waiting for you in the menus of the Codex with a cup of coffee, reading through shit because the lore is
I'm
there.
intrigued.
The lore is all
Yes,
there. Some of the cinematic stuff for the contract providers is really cool.
really cool.
Um, so the lore is there, and it's very much pulling in shit. I mean, we're gonna date this a little bit, but as we record, the community is trying to unlock Cryo,
Yes.
and that is a whole event that has Durandale terminals. Um, that's way too advanced for where I'm at with this game. Who's just trying to get 1,000 credits in a run? I would be
Yeah.
happy. Like,
Yeah.
but
Trying to
those
complete and get out.
yeah, those people that are chasing that stuff down, that's been fascinating to watch unfold. And that seems like a cool area. That's going to be, I mean, they've already announced it's going to be on the marathon, so that's going to be really cool when that gets
Yeah.
there. Probably very end gamey, but we'll get there at some point. And
Yeah.
then actively playing the game, it can be the most gratifying experience in the world, or it can be the most
Yeah.
frustrating experience in the world. And I think that is just the gameplay loop of an extraction shooter.
It is, but the thing that's really funny to me, and it was something where a friend of ours started, like, kind of jumped into it a little bit after launch, and I gave some unsolicited advice, kind of almost convincing myself of it in the process. But I think for me, my approach to this game has been mentally approaching every time we go in like I approach playing Halo multiplayer, where I'm not expecting anything out of a Halo. Like if we win, awesome, right? That feels good. But if we don't, all right, let's just do another one. And I think like I'm not thinking about any sort of account permanence or item permanence because you really
You
can't. Like
can't,
you can't
no.
rely on that. Nothing is permanent. Um, Everything will disappear. Even if you are so good at the game that you never get killed, you never get looted, you extract every single time, you one, you're probably going to run into inventory limits, but two, even if you surpass that and you don't succumb to that, you're just perfect with inventory management. End of the season, they're going to wipe it all anyway, so nothing is permanent. And I think that approach of just like, shoot, whatever, all right, let's do another one, is fine. You might not always have the right weapons, but I'm not married to the guns in this the way that I get married to your gun in Destiny, where like I would really get locked in, like, oh no, this is my new whatever assault rifle or whatever. I don't really have that in this. Like I definitely have preferences, but nothing where I'm like, man, I lost that scope. That really sucks. Like it just I keep rolling. Um,
Yeah, but
and the other
then
side of it is Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's like the exact opposite of the gameplay loop, though. Like in Destiny, like you do all these, especially like the legendary weapons, you do all these steps and challenges and whatever, and once you get it, it is yours, and you can use it for life. This, you
Yeah.
can come across that weapon and you can exfil with it, but like, yeah, like there is some. I mean, for me, I have like some gun, like nothing crazy, but I have like one or two blue guns that I'm like saving for a rainy day or a
Sure.
certain type of run for us. But you can't be that timid with it because you, like you said, the server wipe. I mean, we're months away from it, but
Yeah, but
it's in the
still
back of
coming.
your mind, like use it or lose it in a way too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, you get this gun, but you're not going to be married to it. Like it's either it can stay in your vault for a little bit, or you can save it for a specific type of event. But you got to use it at some point.
It's impermanent. Yeah. They've created like the antithesis to Destiny in a way. There's still some Destiny like linearity there, but it is holistically different.
I would say some of the
You're
weapon
not.
types, like you have like those charged rifles, and you have like burst weapon.
Yes.
Like it's like some of the weapon types might be familiar from Destiny, and I think that's where the Bungie gunplay thing comes in. But yeah, nah, you can't get attached to anything.
No, not at all. Um, but it also doesn't matter because you're playing objectives each round, and for the first, I mean, long while with the game, like you have a good number of the like faction based, story based objectives to complete that will take you a long time. Like some of those are really, really challenging to complete. Whether it's like there's some for the, I forget the name of the faction, the penultimate one where you need to like that's your like aggression one. You've got to like get kills, get finishes.
Arachne.
Arachne, yes. In order to do that, like you really have to maintain the offense, and that's
It's your
challenging because
PvP
PvP,
faction.
yeah, PvP is the tough part about this. But like, well, not even. I mean, the bots are also pretty tough, but some of the other challenges, they just take time because it's like go to this one specific spot on the map, do a thing, run to the opposite side of the map, do something else, and then exfiltrate. And sometimes
In a
that's really,
single
really
run.
hard to pull off in a single run. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to pull off. So, um, yeah, I don't know, but I always feel like I'm making progress every time we play.
Yeah,
It's
and we kind of put ourselves at a disadvantage. We're not really running with a third, or we haven't really found a third that plays at the same time as us, or whatever.
yeah,
And then we don't squad fill either, so it's a lot of us going into trio territory. I'd
yeah,
be very curious because it sounds like they are going to do a duo, um, uh, pipe, like, a queue or whatever. Um, I'd be very curious about how our gameplay experience changes. Because right now it's tough
yeah.
to, with the shooting ourselves in the foot, it's tough to get into a gunfight with a team. Not that we haven't persevered, but our chances of persevering are already on the downside of things.
It's stacked against us.
Um,
Um,
but again, that's by our own doing. But we're still having fun despite that, I would say.
yes. The one thing that does suck, and this is like we can work around this, but playing cross-play using Discord for voice
Mm.
chat between PS5 and PC. On PS5, you can't crew or not. You can't open mic. You can't push to talk when you're in Discord because of the way that PS5 handles Discord voice chat. So we're reliant on Matt being able. Not that you're not, but like you're the only one that can call out to another team and try to approach from a friendly standpoint. Um, which has sometimes worked out for us where we tell people like, yo, we're just playing the objective, we're just trying to do this thing and get out of here. uh Sometimes there's just enough that, okay, we got it. Other times you had a full-blown conversation the other day with someone where they're like,
They were doing the same
yeah,
exact thing as us. They were like, "Oh yeah, same
yeah,
boat. We're trying to do this. Just yeah."
same objective, same spot, it's a pain. Which worked against us because I
A
guess that
third
team
team,
had
a third team came
wandered
in.
out, and we didn't realize that a third team had wandered in, and that third team was not friendly and did not care that we were saying we're friendly, and we got, but that's just the way it rolls.
Yeah,
No, it's solid. I think most sessions we've played now have averaged uh like
it's a couple
at
hours.
least two
Yeah.
hours if not longer. I can actually tell you if you're curious. Our average play time is 2 hours and 42 minutes per session. Which brings me, maybe that's where we close out on non-podcast game stuff. Is the other thing I've been doing this year is insane stat tracking. I got tired of Nintendo not letting
I
me
was gonna
have
say,
a
after all this time of bitching about Nintendo not giving it to you, they give it to you. Then you're like, no, never mind. I'll take it into my own hands.
well, because I can only do that on Nintendo
I know,
platforms.
but
I want it everywhere. Um,
and not
yeah,
just
so
at the
I've
end of
got
the
a
year.
cool. No, yeah, no. I've got a cool spreadsheet now where I've been keeping track of the game I'm playing, the platform I'm playing it on, its original platform of release, and I just sort of jot down the start and end time each time I play a game. And then I'm building all sorts of fun charts and trackers, and it's cool, man. It's nice having all this data to look through and be like, wow, I've spent 22 hours and 54 minutes on Persona. It took me X amount of time to do this. And now I've, expanded. So I've got average play times, and I can tell you I've not played Marathon without you. So our mutual average playtime is 2 hours and 42 minutes so far, which is, yeah, that's a thing.
I have not played by myself yet, whether it's a Rook run or a squad fill run, but I will in due time.
Yeah, I will. I kind of want to like get through the core onboarding uh objective stuff that we've been rolling through. Um, but yeah, marathon's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it. Um, Weirdly, I recommend it. I can't believe I like it as much as I do, but I'm having a good time with it. And I hope it stays. I hope like we stay engaged with it because it has kind of, I think the grind for certain things replaced a little bit of that Monster Hunter itch, and then the gameplay, gunplay stuff has replaced what we were doing with Halo Infinite in a way.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my only curious thing is like how they're gonna handle the server wipe. Like, I know they said they're gonna do the factions, but are they gonna wipe our levels and the
I forget. I
contracts?
read,
Because that's the thing that I fear is like having to redo all these contracts for a level. Like, I don't mind if you keep my level and I have to get the resources to level up the actual faction, or like they do um
yeah,
their equipment upgrades and all that stuff. Like, I don't mind doing that. I don't know if I want to redo
the exact same
finishing
objectives.
10 UESC for the Arachne. Like,
I'm fine doing that as a if it unlocks something else, but yeah, I don't
yeah.
necessarily want it as like the introducing Arachne or whatever.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to handle that part differently, and maybe they've already said how exactly they're doing that, but that would
Yeah.
be the one thing where I feel like, man, I'm getting burned here a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. For the podcast, we've played, I think, 11 games technically.
Sounds right.
11? Yep. Uh, Blood Rain, Incredible Crisis, Katamari Damacy, Cooking Mama, The Warriors, Ute Tower, Jumping Flash, Marathon from 1994, F1 Race Stars, Vanquish, and James Bond 007 Agent Under Fire. What's been your favorite so far?
I don't know. There hasn't been anything terrible, which is good. Um,
Yeah, that's
I think Marathon, despite it being like a late ad for us, I think um, that was I was surprising in the fact that, like, oh, it's another one of these Doom clone type things, but again, it's different enough. It does some different stuff on the storytelling part of it that I liked.
yeah,
Um,
that one surprised me too.
yeah, and Vanquish is good. It's good stuff.
I think Vanquish might be my favorite of the batch, maybe. Outside of Katamari. I think Marathon definitely surprised me. Ute Tower kind of let me down a little bit. I thought Ute was going to be a little bit stronger. It's still fun in its own way, but it's a little bit
You'd be in
too
the mood for
obtuse.
that one, I think, a little bit more than where I
Yeah.
was at the time.
Um, I had I had a decent time with Incredible Crisis. The Warriors also surprised me a lot, just format wise. The way that game kind of played out was different. Um, Looking ahead at next quarter, I would say, unless you've got any objection, full spoilers for the calendar. Is there anything in the next quarter that you're most looking forward to?
I will say the big one is kind of right in the middle of it. Um, I'll be excited to talk about Resident Evil a little bit more detail than we have today, or at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Um,
gonna do Resident Evil in a couple weeks here.
and then all right, I guess are we official on that one?
The one with an asterisk,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. Well, with or without it, I would say I'm excited for the end of the quarter.
Do you want to say any of these game names? You want to open it
Well,
up?
we can.
I'm
We
fine with it.
can.
Yeah, we're closing the quarter out with Catherine, which spoilers I already finished. Uh,
I'm trying to do something dumb with that because we're actually technically playing um
right, full body.
full body.
Yeah,
We'll see how dumb we
yeah.
get when
I
we
know what
get
you're.
closer
Yeah.
to that.
Um, I'm gonna play a little bit more of it again beforehand, but I did make it through the core story already, which I had a pretty good time with. I'm excited to talk about that. The one with the asterisk, I'll say it that way we can unasterisk it. This was a late ad when we realized that this season would be where we hit episode 666, and right now we've landed on House of the Dead, so we have to track down an arcade machine for that and
The
drive to
remaster,
it.
right?
Otherwise, yeah, that one definitely for sure. Um, I'm looking forward to Mach X. Speaking of Persona,
Yeah, this whole ends of the quarter because even the game after it, I'm excited for.
yeah, we've got a weird thing coming up. I've started Mach X before this year. I haven't started it this year yet, but I've got it. I'm playing something else on Dreamcast right now, but it is ready to be put into my Dreamcast to pick up soon. Um, and yeah, you mentioned it before, but the one that's dead set in the middle, just about there, Final Fantasy 13. We're finally seeing the lightning. Uh, I'm looking forward to covering that. I've been playing that one for a long time. And then you,
Haven't started yet, so that's exciting. We'll get there. I promise I will complete that game by the time recording happens.
it's doable. Um, I
Yeah, I'm done and dusted. Like the big stuff. I'm back on the podcast train. I have a shiny platinum trophy in Requiem.
yeah,
I'm pretty much done with that game. I think until any story expansion is released, and that probably won't be until fall. As me and you looked back
we
at
did some
release
math.
dates on some of that stuff, so probably the
Yeah.
fall.
Um, 13's fun. I think yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else with it when you told me before we'd revealed the games for this season that you had a particularly long JRPG you were adding to the list this year, but you knew that I'd played, if not all of it, some of it. So you weren't worried about adding something super, super long. I originally thought you were adding Mother 3 because its
Oh,
20th anniversary's
oh,
coming up. Um, and its 20th anniversary is actually on a day that a podcast will go up too, coincidentally.
oh, fun.
But uh, I'm just smitten that we're doing 13 because it forced me to pick up my save that I'd left off on because I'd been like chipping away at it but never really like fully finishing it, and I really like 13, but more on that sometime later this quarter. um in previous seasons you have meandered from or towards something on the list with different games surrounding it. You just did it with Resident Evil. You're kind of like, okay, we're doing a Resident Evil thing. I'm gonna also do a whole bunch of Resident. You did it with Metal Gear Solid, where the year we played 2, you went through all of the Metal Gear Solid games again. This season so far, maybe if it's not to that extent, but is there anything we've played that has either pushed you in a direction or something we've played where you've been like, not now, but I'm gonna.
I could see it because actually I think it just went free on PlayStation. I've been itching to play one of two of these games, but I think I could see this happening with Ace Combat when we get there.
Yeah, I
Because
think
we
so
have
too.
I guess we haven't said it yet, but Ace Combat 4 is towards the end of the quarter. Shattered Skies, one of the
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 ones. Uh, I'm talking about Skies Unknown just came free for regular PS Plus users on PS5. So I like own
Yeah, that's 7, right?
yes. So like
Yeah.
I have two ready to go. From the franchise ready to go. So you track down those other ones.
8's coming out this year.
Right? Yeah, I keep forgetting eight's a game
Yeah.
because High Guard
Yeah,
ruined the Game Awards for me, and I forgot everything that happened.
I know. Um, yeah, Cooking Mama has kept my DS in more rotation. Catherine kind of propelled me into Persona just because I'd already been itching for an Atlas thing, and then kind of playing that, I wanted more, so that kind of threw me there. But yeah. Last, I do want to like we'll speed run some headlines and just kind of give initial thoughts. I'm kind of saving most of the new. I think it'll be more fun to wrap up news at the end of the year. But before that little touch, I just will say, how is your year of reason going? At the top of the year, when we made predictions, you set this year as the year of reason, where you're not buying things unless there's a dang good reason to do so.
It's been good. It's been real good. I would say the first casualty was Mario Tennis Fever.
Yeah, I
Um, I
did the
was
same.
still playing through Silent Hill 2, and I had
Yep.
that dead set. Like it needed to be done before Requiem, and yeah, so that kind of took the casualty. And if Fever coming out a week before Requiem did it no favors. So, um, and one of the reasons why I would get it is for the online stuff. And as like with any kind of Nintendo sports game, like as time goes along, that online community falls off. So I don't know when I would get this to play. Like the single player stuff, I'm sure is cool, but I usually don't get you
Yeah.
know these for that.
No. Yeah. Yeah, and I was like semi on board with that, but when you were not there day one, I was like, ah, all right, I'm gonna keep rolling. And I ended up skipping. I was gonna get Yakuza 3 Kiwami, and that was like the day before, same day as Mario. And then I ended up. You infected me with the Year of Reason too, where I'm just like, nope, I don't need it. I got this. I got this. I got plenty of podcast stuff to play. I've got Requiem coming up. So I took all the money I had set aside for Mario Tennis and just there was my Requiem. And then I think I moved the Requiem money forward to Marathon, and that's it. And then I did take some leftover money and I bought, I'm not going to show you, but it's right here in my hand. I bought the first video game for next year's podcast, which Matt doesn't know about yet. But I was able to procure a brand new sealed copy on the internet for not that much money. It's a game I'd never heard of. You definitely haven't either, and I'm really excited for it. So, yeah. I declared 2026 as the year of the vampire. I had a lot of proclamations around it and bets that I would lose or things that I have to do. And boy, Konami just they did it finally. They're back. I don't. They're not. They're back. Not with a capital B. But we have a brand new Castlevania game coming out this year, Curse of the Belmont. So
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
see.
I don't know. It could be a semi-capital B because when was the last time PlayStation was like, let's go to one of our partners for a 20-minute segment?
Yeah, there was a lot of Konami. We got the old Castlevania logo. Seemingly we're playing as Sonia Belmont, being developed by the people that made uh, Dead Cells. I'm intrigued. And they said, what is it? I'm reading the Castlevania 40th message on the official Castlevania portal website. The doors of Castlevania open once more. This year marks the 40th anniversary since the original Akumajo Dracula first saw the light of day. In this commemorative year, Castlevania will be revived. First up is this title, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. First off, everything there just reads like one of our predictions. So I'm glad that they got the same cadence. But yeah, the fact that they say Castlevania will be revived, first up is this title. Come on. Thrilled. Very thrilled. That was a good start to the year. We can move into news briefly. It's not going to be all good news like the return of Castlevania, however. At a high level, we'll just kind of breeze through these, engage as much as you want. Sony has shut down Bluepoint Studios before it had a chance to make a game under its ownership.
I think the bigger news that came out of that was they pitched it. They did it. They tried. My prediction I make every year. It could have happened. It was
I know.
Talked about in a boardroom somewhere. But I think I officially have to put it to bed. The Bloodborne remaster, remake, whatever with an R or a proper sequel. I probably won't be saying that ever again. So, surprise me, someone. No. Yeah, that was shocking.
It'd be nice if someone did. It's just weird to me. Like
that one was weird.
How did you not find something? And I get it. Like I think the thing that's been talked about a lot is that a lot of the projects that something like Bluepoint made or could make, they're not huge sellers, right? Like I think we see numbers get thrown around by like Capcom when they're like, "Hey, Resident Evil 2 remake has sold X amount of millions of copies, lifetime to date," and we're like, remakes are back, baby. But you got to think of like the Soul Reaver of the world, right? Where like that stuff comes out, you've got a dedicated fan base that's super stoked for it, but it never really breaks outside of that bigger market. And still, it's disappointing and really bizarre.
Well, again, I think you're going to see, we'll hit on a couple of these, but it's just like PlayStation made a bad move trying to do all these games of service. They canceled one of them, or they canceled a few of them, but one of them was being made by Bluepoint. So that was probably the beginning of the end.
Yeah. That's a shame. And it's a thing where like, I think the initial reaction was like, well, what did you think you were buying? But then you read more and it's like, well, Bluepoint themselves were pitching to not work on remakes only. They were trying to do original things, and
yep. Anyway, keep going. I don't know what else, some other ones. They all kind of blend together.
Yeah. Highguard, the game that closed the Video Game Awards, closed its self like a month after launch, and the studio shut down. I guess the studio had like
they severely cut, and then they
closed the game. This was people Apex Legends people who spun out, made their own thing in Highguard, and this was famously closed out the 2025 Game Awards, and did not get a super positive reception at the Game Awards. And I don't know, some interesting stats. Like I think it was like 2 million people had played the game at launch. After they'd announced it was shutting down, the game's director or somebody who worked on it, producer or something, had put a bunch of stats out there to show like, hey, here's what did happen, and this still wasn't good enough to sustain. So it says something about the state of games right now, but a weird one. I don't know. Any thoughts on High Guard or?
No, and I mean we both echoed that. I mean, I don't think we really talked about it too much on the podcast, but like when as that trailer came out, we were like, "What the hell is this?" In real time. As I heard that game talked about, it has some interesting ideas, but it just got off to the wrong foot, and
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough when that happens.
it's weird that it got off to the wrong foot and died so quickly, but I don't know. Uh, Not dying, but retiring. Philip Spencer, leaving Xbox. Well, yeah, I think you're doing a hand wave because he may not be, but is Xbox dying? Is the question.
Well, at what point does it look better when you're asked to retire?
Ah, yeah.
That might be some of what happened because of the other moves around this.
So the other moves around this. So Phil Spencer leaves.
Sarah Bond is out.
Sarah Bond resigns. Matt Booty has a new title,
Yeah.
and Asha Sharma takes over as head of Xbox. Asha Sharma coming from the AI branch within Microsoft. Um, Weird. And then I think for me, like the weirder news about this is it was quick. Like it was basically like Phil's gonna retire
Monday.
tomorrow or whatever
I
day.
think it came out
Um,
Thursday or Friday, then Monday was the effective date of all
yeah.
this.
And I think they were meant to announce it on Monday, but IGN got the story before the news was officially announced, so they had to announce it. But he's staying on until like midsummer or later this year in a consultant role to make sure that the transition happens smoothly. But the weirder part for me is that since then, Asha Sharma vocally has been very much talking about like getting back to the spirit of Xbox and console first and Xbox first and this first. And they've like erased the This Is an Xbox campaign from existence. I don't know if you've seen that, but like I think everything but the one YouTube video is pulled. If you go back to any of their social media posts, it's all gone. I don't think you can buy those stickers anymore. I'm sorry to report. The shirt is probably gone. Uh, yeah, all that stuff's vanished. It's really, really odd. And then, kind of in tandem with this, just a few weeks after this announcement at GDC, right before GDC started, they announced Project Helix, the next Xbox console that will play your Xbox and PC games. At GDC, when giving a pitch to developers in attendance to say, hey, here's how you develop for the next Xbox, the answer was develop for PC. Um,
Yeah, and that's had a ripple effect because I think PlayStation did this more in response to the Gabe Cube that is upcoming. But I'm sure that pitch didn't help either. But they have rescinded their single player games going to Steam.
yeah.
They are going to stay as console exclusives on PlayStation.
So how do you feel about all that? Uh,
I
like,
kind of play them when I do play them on PlayStation anyway, so I'm not like terribly meh. Like I like if I'm
did
gonna
you feel weird about them going to PC at all? Because I kind of did.
no, I never did. It seems strange for PlayStation to finally bold and bend the knee on that stuff, but then retracting it feels very PlayStation-y again.
Well, and I'm seeing it a bit with Xbox too. Like, I am wondering if they'll bring back some exclusivity here with some of the titles moving forward, where like,
And I might have to use my Xbox again. Like that would be
right.
weird,
But I think that's the point, right?
right?
Like, ever since they've made this big push away from it, you have told me more and more that the only reason I need that little box over there is so I can play Xbox 360 stuff because I got no other reason. Everything else is on everything else.
Yeah,
Why am I doing this?
yeah, we'll see.
Um,
We'll see. I think this is, quick hot fire reactions now on something we don't know about. I'd be curious to see how much more we know come when we talk about this stuff at the end of the year. More so,
yeah.
probably like E3 time next year is going to be when we have a lot more clear picture on this.
Well, apparently dev kits for this Project Helix will be sent out early 2027, or I guess in sometime in 2027. That's been confirmed by Xbox. I think he's the head of their hardware design, Jason Ronald. I forget his exact title. He announced that at GDC. And unofficially, right now, as of recording, the word is that Project Helix and PlayStation 6 are launching by holiday 2027. Right now, as it is, not seeing anything, not knowing anything, are you buying one or either of them next fall?
Depends what the
Or
launch
one or both?
lineup is and feature
Really?
set and stuff. I'm not saying I am like it. I I I'm not saying yes or
There,
no. I'm probably
but there
leaning
is a
no.
world where you would buy it. Because right
Potentially,
now, I am
potentially,
out.
potentially.
Interesting.
I'm not saying
All right.
there are a lot of games or a lot of combinations of games that will get me there. But if the right one is there, starting with a B and ending in a 2, after I just dismissed it, there is a possibility.
Blinks the Time Sweeper 2.
Yep. Actually, Blinks 2
Yeah.
already exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, but a remaster of it is what you're
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. My last news story I wanted to call out here, uh, I think is an important one to talk about here. This comes by way of its financial results Q&A. As reported by Video Games Chronicle, Sega says that despite the relatively high acclaim for its modern video games, they've not seen that translated in sales. Metacritics for a lot of Sega's titles recently have been very high, but people are not buying the games. So I'm going to speak to everyone right now. Do not let Sega die again. Get out there, buy some games. I talked about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Buy it. Shinobi, S tier. A plus,
I should buy
A
that, but
tier. Shinobi's really good. You would like Shinobi when you're ready for a good Metroidvania with some good stage-based stuff, and Shinobi rules. But also like Metaphor is part of that equation. I think it's sold well, but we can keep going. Now, admittedly, Sega, you should probably put Metaphor on Switch 2, and I'm in. But they're gonna kill Crazy Taxi and Jet Grind before we get a chance to play them, or Jet Set, whatever they're calling it. So get out there and buy some Sega games. That's my plea for the end of Q1 2024. 2024. What year is it?
2026.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. Final thoughts? 2026 so far? Podcast stuff? Or
It's been
anything
fine.
else?
Podcast stuff has been good. I don't think we've
Yeah.
hit like some. Well, kind of more. We ranked pretty high.
Yeah, we did.
But I think some of the best is yet to come in a way. Maybe potentially. There's some
I think so.
highly
Yeah.
anticipated things. The rest of the video game releases, I don't even know. I forget what's coming, but Requiem that was the highlight of the year for me is come and went, so I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I really don't know what new. Wolverine is probably my next.
That's true. That's true.
I'm ready for that, but that's I think it for now. So, well, next week we'll be back.
With Sega.
Sega, keeping them alive. Echo the Dolphin, episode 656. We're having a great time with Echo.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited to talk about it.
Yep.
Our experience with it, and of course, rank it on the list. Until then, enjoy your video games. Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for hanging, listening, watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.